Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I come to the floor today to express my opposition to the War Powers Act resolution that's making its way through Congress. I believe it's designed to hurt our president politically while inflicting long-term damage to our national security and military readiness. Mr. President, Iranian provocation is nothing new. In the last several months, they have drastically and intentionally escalated tensions in the region. After several measured responses, President Trump made the appropriate decision to eliminate General Soleimani, a terrorist mastermind who ordered and helped carry out many attacks on American personnel and our allies. I want to emphasize an overlooked point here. General Soleimani was killed in Iraq, not Iran. He was in Iraq in a car with another known terrorist driving to meet militia members who recently fired rockets at Americans, killing an American contractor with rocket fire, and tried to storm our embassy. And I'm going to remind everybody that our embassy in Baghdad is sovereign United States territory. Now, whether through an existing authorization to use military force or the War Powers Act, President Trump was well within his legal bounds to take action against a known terrorist sitting in Iraq plotting attacks against the United States citizens. It would have been culpable negligence to not act on the intelligence informing us of General Soleimani's position and location and his imminent plans to attack again soon. And I thank God the days of appeasement are behind us, and we learned from history, and President Trump averted another Benghazi-like tragedy. The president made Iranian leadership pay a price for its aggression. His decisive action made Iran realize the cost of escalation was more than they can afford. And Mr. President, it worked. Without the loss of American life, while following our Constitution and laws, President Trump de-escalated tensions with Iran and, through a clear message of strength, made more less likely. Mr. President, my colleagues on the other side of this issue know all of this well. They watched it play out in real time, just like the rest of us. And yet, whether it is their deeply rooted disdain for this president or a misunderstanding of the threats that the United States faces every day, they want to limit the president's ability to protect Americans abroad. The legislation they're promoting requires termination, or in some cases, complete withdrawal of our forces without any strategic or tactical considerations. Such actions are not based on military doctrine, the recommendations of senior military leaders, or even foreign policy experts. They would be based solely on politics and would constitute a strategic long-term loss in exchange for what they think would be a short-term political win. Ultimately, Mr. President, my colleagues who support this resolution refuse to accept the undeniable reality that the concept of peace through strength works. Removing the powers and capabilities of our military leaders that keep our country safe will not make us safer. Whether through personal animosity toward our president or a misunderstanding of the importance of deterring our enemies, some in this chamber are advocating for changes that would make our country less safe. I will not support their effort, and I urge the rest of my colleagues to do the same.